Hello, my name is Justin Bright, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program version 1.2.2, in which I am attempting to make Kerbals a multiplanetary species. But first of all, 3, 2, 1, launch! We have here what I am calling the VTOL bus, which is basically just a Mark III passenger module sandwiched in between a bunch of fuel tanks and Honey Badger VTOLs, Honey Badger reaction control systems, that sort of thing, which I am going to be using to shuttle passengers up and down from Minmus to Minmus's orbit, where they will be departing to places unknown. So this is a fairly standard 3.75 meter stack here. We got a Mammoth, we've got the SpaceY S121 heavy lift SRBs, which is kind of kickback-esque in that they have slightly lower thrust, slightly longer burn time. But yeah, really nothing to talk about here. Okay, 3 seconds to the circularization burn, and away we go. Ooh, I thought this thing was better balanced than that. I actually don't 100%. Oh. Hold on. Right, I need to kick that thing off a little bit further in. Yeah, because I'm just dumping monopropellant right now. So I have this, which is meant to act as kind of a transfer stage. Not transfer stage, it's just a, how do you put it? It's just a probe core to use while we're moving this over. It's intended to be gotten rid of, and it's unbalancing my craft, so I may dump this here in a second once I'm done holding my maneuver node, because I don't think this has any kind of good, actually, hold on, let me back up. No, that's not gonna whip around. I want to make sure that this thing actually burns up. There. Now kick that thing off. There we go. Yeah, this thing does not have any SAS auto controls, or whatever you want to call it, which is a shame, but it's also not that big of a deal. Let's extend some solar panels. Extend some solar panels. I should probably circularize at some point. Beautiful. Extend. Camera's a little funky. Extend. Okay. Make sure we're controlling from the right place. Beautiful. All right. Now let's get this out to Minmus. And we're off. Another great nimble beast being sent off to Minmus. So this one is, flip the lights on in here, but yeah, this is really just what it says on the tin. It's just this Mark III passenger module and some big fuel tanks, some Honey Badger control modules, and the VTOL engines, and that's really it. And then some big Lithobrake landing legs to set this down nice on the Minmus surface. Bring in all the Kerbals that we bring into orbit using the Starlifter shuttle, and then drop them off at base, or wherever it is that they're going. One of the many bases that we're going to end up having, because I think we're going to have some Kerbals at each one. But I am currently taking advantage of the fact that Minmus is just about... Oops, goodness gracious. Minmus is in the correct plane such that it is very easy to make transfers to and from. It's right on the inclination. So we're sending out a whole bunch of big hardware. Cool. I'm a little bit concerned about this thing burning through all of its monopropellant in like 2 seconds. I should have put extra tanks on there. Well, we'll see if we can't do something about that with this later on. Because let's see, how does this thing turn when it's just using the reaction control wheels and the Honey Badger control modules? Not great. Start compressor. Oh, I guess that's for atmospheric use. Yeah, so that's not great. That's going to be very hard to land and rendezvous with if I don't have a bunch of monoprop, and this thing just blows through it incredibly fast. It makes it turn at a nice pace, but it's not good. It's not good. But we'll figure something out. I'm not too worried about it. Alright, thusly a week has gone by, so we are back at the Starlifter shuttle, just about to enter into Minmus' sphere of influence. So I just want to see real quick how we... Let's see, electric charge is going back up. I just want to see how this looks. 110 days. I probably should have checked and seen. Well, on this trip we used, it looks like, 860 supplies and practically no fertilizer, interestingly enough. But the agroponic seems to be working, so I guess we've turned at least 20 fertilizer into additional supply, so we would have used even more. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I need to figure out if this is the absolute correct calculation, including all of the recycling processes that are involved. Because if it is, that would make my life just a ton easier. Well, I can just calculate just really quickly. Let me see. It says 3940 supplies at 41.4 per day. That's 273 days. Huh. But this only says 110 days. I don't understand what that means. Okay, well, whatever. We'll figure something out later. In the meantime, we are doing just fine. And we are approaching, so let's enter into the sphere of influence. Go ahead and kill this alarm. Thank you for that. The bus is coming up behind very quickly, and then the fuel tanker that I built is going to be coming a little bit behind that. All right, looks like we are colliding with the moon, which is not, the ideal. So let's turn the vessel. All right, you lug. There we go. Now we just want to get this thing into orbit. This thing is not rendezvousing with anybody. At least it is not performing any rendezvous. So let's just do this in some time acceleration because I cannot be bothered to wait. It's all very slow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Cool. So we are going to circularize at the periapsis in 2.5 hours, which is after both of these things come here, which is always the fun part of sending out fleets of ships at the same time. Alright, so that is just swinging back that... looks like we got a little bit off course in our transit, but we are looking just fine now. And these are all going to have to rendezvous, it occurs to me. This may not be a good design now that I think about it, because it can't actually dock. Like, I could send them jumping over on EVA one at a time, but that's probably not the best design. But it was very expensive, so we're going to roll with it. Lessons learned for the future, I guess. There's a lot that is not great about this design. I may end up recycling it and building something new, but for now, this will do. Hold on, before I get all excited, let's just go ahead and circularize at the periapsis, which is going to be happening in 2.5 hours, which once again is after the next thing. Fuel tanker. All right, so this is my fuel tanker ship, which is a very simple design. It's just a big 5-meter fuel tank with the dual penguin vacuum engine, some 7-meter landing legs, big tank for monopropellant, and this thing, which makes me just so very, very happy. It's a 5-meter SAS module. I think it's SpaceY. I think it's SpaceY, but it's literally just like two 2.75 meter 2.5 meter docking ports, the senior clampetrons, and then a 2.5 meter SAS module stapled together into a single part that is a 5-meter SAS module with 1,200 kilonewtons of torque. So this thing is actually pretty dang nimble for a 5-meter craft. So this thing should at least be a really solid design and really work out. And it's just got some ports, connector ports that can be attached and used to transfer fuel back and forth. So that should be good. But this thing is going into land directly, so let's swing around. And we are going to once again circularize at the periapsis. All right, so one more time through the cycle of 3. All right, Starlifter coming in. We're just going to whip this thing around to face its maneuver node. 3, 2, 1. All right. So this is going to be a fixture in orbit until we can send out our Kerbals to get the to go take this on a jaunt out of the system. So what I think my next step is going to be is we need to have the bus rendezvous. We need to have transfer the Kerbals over to the bus, land the bus, have Jai and the other Kerbals that I have down on the station come back up here, and then we'll take them, and then and we can also use the bus to refuel this thing a bit because it's running a bit low. It's down to 1,700 meters per second, which is a little bit less than half. So it looks like we're going to end up being able to pack on about 3,500 meters per second of delta V, which is going to be plenty to get us in and out of Kerbin's sphere of influence. Less than that, I am much less certain that we'll be able to accomplish that maneuver. Wow, what is destroying our electric charge? Good lord. We're just out of the sun and it's just, we're getting killed here. I guess all of the agroponics and everything else is very, very power hungry. That is good to know. Maybe I need to outfit this with a nuclear reactor or something. Thought I could get away with solar panels. And it works out great in the sun, but if that's actually going to be going down that fast in the shade, then this could be problematic. So I guess we're going to see how that goes, but for now we will point all the big giant solar panels at the sun and we're getting plenty of energy coming in. Okay, next. Okay, so we're coming up on this node for the bus, and you know, I hate this thing the more I use it. I definitely did not spend as much time designing and tweaking this one as I should have, because it is not a great little ship. And this is something that is intended to be reusable for a huge part of the rest of the series, so if I don't like it now, it's not that feeling is not going to get any better. So we can use this for now, but we will definitely intend to change it at our earliest opportunity. This will be our first replacement. Alright, here's a circularization burn for the fuel tanker, and one of the things that I would like to do is I'm actually just going to send this down. I know that I have some fuel that I could give over to the Starlifter shuttle and to the bus and all that, but I think what I want to do is I want to kind of calculate how much fuel it takes to land now, just to see what I should anticipate saving in the future. Because I'm pretty happy with this design, so I think that we'll be sticking with this one, but we're going to want to know what that number is so that I don't screw that up in the future and leave this with too little fuel to actually make its landing. So before I do any messing around with getting the other ships rendezvoused and doing all that stuff, let's just whip this around until Minty Station is in daytime. And let's hope that in the course of the week or so that these things have been approaching. Minty Station has actually made me some fuel. I'm pretty hopeful, but I really have no idea what the time spans are for the various processes. Like, I don't know how long it takes to make a full tank of fuel. How long does it take to make a whole bunch of material kits and so forth? How long does it take to like make enough machinery and metal and everything else to build a whole new rocket? I have no idea what the time scales are going to be like. So this will be a learning experience for me for sure. Okay, so we're at 1615 delta V. So let's just kind of mark that in our minds as I send this thing down to land next to Minty Station. Let's see, if I point this way, activate waypoint. Make sure we have plenty of sun on our solar panels. Okie dokie. Oops, I'm definitely not... This is not the best landing I've ever done. Slow it on down. Yeah, this thing has pretty low thrust to weight ratio, but I think it should be okay as even when it's full up, given that this is Minmus after all. There we go. I think we're going in the right direction now. Let's put down these landing legs. Looks like we are coming down in the right direction now. Alright, so we're going to want to land near the other, near the Gigundus carbonite refinery so that I can hook the, what do you call it? So I can hook the attachment system pipe directly to it. Accomplish anything? I have no idea if this is actually helping. It looks like we're going in the right direction now. Alright, we are still on the wrong side. So let's rotate. Rotate the other way. Oh, this is atrocious. Here we go. Alright, we need to be close enough to attach this tube onto something. At this point, I don't really care what. Alright, which way? Not that way. Alright, we are coming in nice and slow. And I'm trying to use my RCS to push towards the thing so I don't have to whip the entire stack around. Ooh, up, 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 up. Don't you tip, don't you tip. Don't you do it. Oh my god, this thing is enormous. I did not even realize. Come on now. Come on. Alright. We got it. We got it. And just come to a rest. Slowly bouncing and figuring itself out. We are now dancing on one leg, pirouetting very gracefully. Whoa, 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 whoa. Please be careful. Okay, easy. I know you don't actually want to sit on your feet. There. Now just settle down. Goodness gracious. What's happening? This thing just does not want to stay on its feet? Is it unbalanced somehow, or is it just the hill? The hills are alive. Ooh. Pivot around on that one foot that's touching the ground. That's pretty cool. Alright, I'm just going to leave... Am I controlling from the right place? Like, what is happening? Why is up not up? Just rocking gently back and forth. Okay, this is weird, but I think this is fine. I feel like that should be the tagline for this entire series is, that was weird, but this is fine. So I invite you to take a look at the difference in size between these various things. So Jeslyn Kerman, where are you hiding? Probably in one of these. Yes, indeed. Transfer to the airlock. Let me make sure that you do indeed have a screwdriver. We are going to equip your screwdriver. Save the game. Cannot quick save with Kerbals on a ladder. That's probably for the best. Save the game. And we launch at a glorious 1 frame a second. It's not that bad, but it feels fairly close. Actually, I wonder, can I just local logistics this in? I know I'm going to have to do the... I'm going to have to deal with the pipe when I'm up in orbit, but I don't know that I'm going to have to do that here. Local logistics. Fuel tanker. Minty station. Neat, I don't have to. Alright, so I've made a massive 3,000 fuel, and that's probably mostly what was left over from when we started, so that's not as great as it could be, but there we go, we've put some fuel in the fuel tanker. That's exciting. And it took about 400 or so meters per second of delta V to touch the fuel tanker down here at base, so we'll call that like leave a margin of 500 or so meters per second. Yeah, so that just makes fuel at a glacial pace, unfortunately. But we are able to transfer it through local logistics, which is pretty cool. So, Jeslyn, you can get back to work in the base. Alright, so, let's see. Now I just want to get Jeslyn back inside, and then... Oh, bounce myself off the side here. Okay, cool. Alright, well, anyways... What I would like to work on next is I think I really dislike my bus. I don't like the VTOL bus that I built, so I think I'm going to go rebuild that. I've got to figure out what is going on with the slow production here at Minty Station, so I think I'm going to go figure something out with that as well, because my carbonite drills are just producing a tremendously small amount of resources. My gypsum drills are not working very well. I think it's radiators. I feel like that might be the thing. Like, I don't think I have any radiative capabilities, even though my Tundra, the power distribution module seems to be working fine. Like, nothing's exploded. The core temperature is fine, but yeah, my drills just don't seem to work very well. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of investigating on my own to figure out what the heck is going on there. I think I may end up needing to just send a whole bunch of new carbonite drills out here. But once I get this production issue figured out, I think what I'm going to be doing next is we are going to be taking a look at building up the additional resource chains. So what we have here at Minty Station is just supplies, like agroponic supplies, so the absolute most basic possible thing. And what we need are, we need to be able to produce material kits, we need to be able to produce specialized parts, we need to be able to produce, what are the other things? So it's material kits, specialized parts, and then colony supplies, I think, is the only other thing. So if we can produce those 3 key items and then also liquid fuel and oxidizer, then we'll be able to build rockets from Minmus and start launching them from here. So I will do a little bit of investigating and then we'll see how things will go. But that will have to happen in another episode. But if you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.